Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are continuing to work in the sketchbook and using the theme list that was created 2 weeks ago to get us started. Sometimes even with my theme list, it can be difficult to decide what to make every week and exactly how to do it. Some of you may have noticed that on my theme list there is someone of the name of Henry. Today we're going to be working on a painting of him. Sometimes I feel like I can sit all day and wait for inspiration to come to me, but I find the best inspiration comes from real life. So let's get some real life inspiration from Henry. This is Henry. He is a 4-month-old pug. This is my brother and sister-in-law's dog. He loves to play and is currently teething, so the world is his chew toy. That hand on the ground is a Halloween decoration, but he's a pretty big fan of it, so we keep it around. He knows how to sit, high five, high 10. He's working on rolling over, but one day we'll get there. Definitely a good boy if I do say so myself. He's friendly and enjoys being held before falling asleep. And this is starting to sound like a dating profile. No, but in all seriousness, I love him and he is so cute, which is why I'm doing a whole video based off of him pretty much. Now that I feel inspired, I'm ready to work. I managed to snap a few pictures while I was out with him, and I'm going to use these as my references. I decided to do some watercolor this week because it's been so long since I've done watercolor. I started by drawing the general shape of the head in watercolor pencil crayon. I like using these watercolor pencil crayons in the beginning because I feel like it's so much easier to fix mistakes than just going in straight watercolor. I prefer starting with earthy colors such as light browns or yellows because I feel like these are the easiest to cover up. Once I have everything placed, I go in with a bit of color to put some shapes in. This is my all-time favorite watercolor set. I got it about 10 years ago now, and there's still some colors I have yet to replace. I definitely recommend Winsor Newton watercolors if you can afford them. They contain a lot of pigment, making your colors extremely vibrant. This is a travel set, making it great for plein air paintings. I've used it many times while out and about. Even though this is an expensive set, I do plan to have it for the rest of my life, so for me this was definitely worth it. Instead of just mixing one color for an area and just putting it in, I like to layer my watercolors. I usually build on the previous color a few times because I feel like this gives the picture more depth. In my mixing area for my palette, I usually separate it into sections of warm, cool, and black. This seems to work for me, but I've seen so many people do different things. I don't really believe that there's one way to do art though, and if you guys have other ways of separating your palette, I'd love to hear about it. Every once in a while, you'll see me go back and forth between creating definitive lines and then blurring them out. This is how I erase and kind of decide what stays and what goes. I decided to go in with a bit of white gouache. In the photo I took, there was a lot of areas of reflected light that I missed, and I felt like the gouache would help me fix this. Reflected light is light that bounces off of something and then reflects onto your subject. So it's not as strong as a highlight, but it's definitely something that you can see and it helps create depth. For anyone still wondering, I haven't mastered gouache yet. I haven't even come close, as a matter of fact. I find it super difficult because it dries really fast, and if you add water to slow down the drying time, it could get really streaky. I used it sparingly here, so it didn't really affect me this much this time around. Whenever I'm painting dogs, I always try to flick my brush to make my brush strokes look like little hairs. I feel like this gives the illusion of fur without overdoing it. I've really enjoyed making work in the sketchbook. It challenges me every week to come up with something, and I feel like I'm happy I made the choice to commit to this. I don't really have a lot of space to store my paintings that I make, so it's been nice still being able to make art without it taking up that much room. Admittedly, I've never really been much of a sketchbook person. I've always had a difficult time finishing them. I still have countless other sketchbooks that I have to finish. I actually can't wait to see what this one's going to be like when it's finished and all of the work that's going to be inside it. I'm contemplating exactly how I want to show the finished product altogether, or if that's something that you guys even want to see as a standalone video. But regardless, let me know if you're interested in seeing a video at the end where I just show all of the pieces completed in the book. Since cool colors recede, I made the background a greeny blue color. I think in hindsight I should have done a different color just because the harness is blue, and I feel like they kind of blend together, but I don't really think it's a big deal. Much like the painting I did last week, I thought it might be cool if I did a few studies on the other page. I thought it might be interesting to draw his head from different angles. Originally I was going to use some watercolor and just paint these in, but I was enjoying the way that they looked. I liked how gestural and loose the drawings appeared. I felt like they were a nice complement since the other page was a bit of a tight drawing and then this one could be a bit loose. I've kind of mentioned this before in other videos, but I barely draw. It's pretty rare for me to pick up a pencil and start drawing, but for whatever reason I was strangely in the mood today. While drawing my third image of Henry, I switched up my colors because I felt like this would separate all the drawings on the page. But I had already done the other two drawings in the same brown pencil crayon and it was too late to go back. I think it would have been nice if I had done each drawing in a different color, but I'll just try to keep that lesson in mind for the next time I do something like this. Overall, this was a really fun painting to do, and I think it came together nicely without much struggle. But let me know what you guys think. And that's going to be the end of this video. If you like this video, then give it a like. If you want to subscribe, then subscribe. I put out new videos every Monday, and I will see you guys next week with, I don't know what yet, but I will see you guys next week. Bye.